Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, we love you. And in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, what we'll do, near, far, in a motor car, oh what a happy time we spend. Bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, our fine four-fendered friend. Bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, our fine four-fendered friend. Chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. It's a legend. It's a magical motor car. Many years ago, way back in 1960s, I was Pierre the Clown. I played clown for many years, and my act was the motor car that fell to pieces, which was an old Model T Ford. And in 1966, my agent said to me, there's a film being made called Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. It's about an extraordinary motor car. I said, well, what do they want me to do? He said they might want your car to fall to pieces in one of the scenes in the film. And we set it up and showed them what it could do. And in the end, they decided the car was terrific. It did everything, but they had to have it do it straight away. Bang, everything should fall off straight away. With my old Model T Ford, my circus act, that didn't happen. And while we were discussing all that, they said, oh, would you like to look after the actual motor car itself and be involved? I said, yes, I would. Thank you very much. I would stand by just in case they need something moved. Hold this, do that, move this, shake that. If it was drivable, I used to drive it to the various locations. But the wonderful position I've got, that I ended up with a motor car, and that's really, really, very magical. It was based on an old car that raced at Brooklands in the 1920s. It had a Zeppelin engine out of the First World War flying airships of the Germans. There was about 3 or 4 chitties. There was one that was actually made onto a speedboat chassis because that had to skim along the water at Saint-Tropez. Chitty Gen 11, which I own, that was in most of the driving sequences. There was 1 or 2 small models, yes. There was a little miniature made of that for various scenes. In 1973, I did inquire what is going to be the future of these wonderful motor cars. I said, well, I would be very, very interested. And so I then bought 2 chitties from Cubby Broccoli. Even now, 30 years later, Chitty still continues to tour the British Isles, and she's very well known the world over, wherever you go. We've been to Germany, we've been to France, we've also been to Australia, and various other places around the world. And it's magic. When I go around, people turn their heads so much they nearly turn off. It's quite phantasmagorical. Chitty might be magical, but still has to be cleaned. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, this is Chitty's gleaming bonnet. It's the wonderful aluminium made out of the tin bath, but it's got to be cleaned all the time. So if anybody can clean it, give me a hand and we'll do it together, all right? And this is the lovely tyre. These are the original tyres, Goodyear. We've had to now research some other tyres. This is one of the spares, which is a very beautiful spare. And these are these wonderful lamps, these of a lovely old classic motor car, and they're really beautiful. And they need to be cleaned all the time, so it makes Chitty very, very beautiful. And this lovely leather seating, this wonderful colonnade leather, this lovely glowing red. And of course the woodwork, as you can see, is pure magic because it's really wood. It's not plastic. A lot of film props were made out of odds and ends, but this is real craftsmanship. Wonderful thing. That lovely brass there again, all has to be cleaned because when you've got to go to a show, you need to make sure that the car shines. Everybody's jealous of this wonderful bodywork. Oh, by the way, seatbelts. Got to have seatbelts. Because if you don't have seatbelts, because everybody's got to be belted up. Because if you don't belt up, you might have an accident. And I think that should always be remembered when you're driving. Always belt up in whatever country. And this is the wonderful picnic basket, as you can see, and the little pussycat. Pussycat, pussycat, where have you been? Have you been to London to see the Queen? Marvellous, because you see, she looks after everything. And I've got to get what we call a nice bowl of milk for her, all right? Now, you'll be all right. See you later. Now this is the cloud closer. If you don't close the cloud, then it starts to rain. Now the one in the front of Chitty is the cloud opener, and this is the cloud closer. So when you're travelling at 30,000 feet with your seatbelts on, you must close the cloud, otherwise it can be very, very, very wet. Underneath the basket is the LPG tank, which is liquid petroleum gas, environmentally friendly. So when we're flying around, we don't hurt the birds and the bees, or the flowers or the trees. Now this is Chitty's exhaust. I mean, let's face it, all that wonderful noise from the engine, and you hear this roar of the exhaust roaring away, and that gives you the speed and the power to fly. This marvellous steering wheel. There's a little bit wood left over from the actual bodywork. So Caradicus made it into this wonderful steering wheel with all the lovely brass workings. And these. Now these are magical. In case you get a bit thirsty in flight, this is lemonade, chocolate juice and marmalade juice, and that's very good. The marmalade juice on the sandwiches when we're flying. I'm still working on the bell. This is the bell. All ships have a bell because Chitty is a boat and I suppose could be a ship. And here is the aerometer, so I know how high I go. 500 metres, 6,000 metres, so therefore I've got to be very careful that that is all working in order, and it is, you see, because I could never take off if that's not working. Oh, by the way, the letterbox. Chitty gets thousands of fan mails from all over the world. They come some email and come by letterbox, and a little grubby old stamp stuck on the envelope, and it says Chitty Stratford on Avon or Chitty England, and they all come to Chitty Chitty Bang Bang in Stratford on Avon because that's where she lives. The wings that are on Chitty now are sort of a fiberglass wing, which I use for showing everybody that Chitty does have wings. Magnificent. Chitty is totally original, and we've changed nothing at all, and it's the same as you've seen her in the film. I feel very responsible and very proud to have the motor car. You get this adrenaline that rushes from the car into me and out the exhaust. It's really magnificent. People wave, and I sort of wave back because it's nice to be, not me being recognised, but the car being recognised, and you can just imagine the lips saying, oh, there's Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That, you don't. I'm sure it is. Yes, it is. It was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Quite amazing.
It's wizard.
It's smashing.
It's key.
That was a bit of a run, wasn't it?
Oh, Chitty, you, Chitty, pretty, Chitty, bang, bang, Chitty, Chitty, bang, bang, we love you. And Chitty in, Chitty, pretty, Chitty, bang, bang, Chitty, Chitty, bang, bang, what we'll do. Here, Chitty, far, Chitty, in our motor car, oh, what a happy time we'll spend. Bang, bang, Chitty, Chitty, bang, bang.
Stand back with the propellers. Keep clear.
Bang, bang, Chitty, Chitty, bang, bang. I'll find for friend, old friend, Chitty, bang, bang, Chitty, Chitty, bang, bang. Find for friend, Chitty, Chitty, friend.
If you could actually tell your soul that you're actually happy, then I'm happy.